What is up, YouTube? It is AvrielR32 here, and I just want to make a few quick announcements before getting into this video. Number one, I know that I haven't posted in about a week or so. I've been extremely busy with school, but don't worry because I am going to be uploading a crap ton of videos with the regional that I have upcoming this weekend in Orlando, Florida. And I also have my frog deck profile that I used at locals yesterday to upload, which I will either upload later today or tomorrow. I'm recording this on the 22nd of April, so I should be able to get this out the same day that I record it, if not the next day or the day after. But hopefully today, because I have 124 subscribers, which is freaking nuts. Like, oh my god. Like, the last thing I posted was the Pokemon Let's Play, and I've just been getting a lot of subs, and it's great. So if you guys do also want to see any more Let's Plays, please let me know in a PM or even in a comment down below on this video. But what I actually really truly want to see in the comments is your opinion and discussion on this deck. And it is, let me just pull this up here because I'm also going to be discussing it. Frog Monarch. So what I want to talk about today about Frog Monarch, which I also say in the deck profile that I want to talk about the deck profile that you guys will see later, I say at the end of it, and tomorrow, and in a different video, I want to talk about why Frog Monarch is the best meta call right now. So, let us sit back and discuss this. So, one of the main, number one reasons that Frog Monarch is the best meta call right now is because, of course, it's monarchs. Like, they one for one everything pretty much. Like, simplification to the game. They almost essentially work like gadgets. If you open up a Treeborn and a Swat Frog with with a monarch, I mean, you're pretty much set. You can pitch the Treeborn, play the Swat Frog, send another card. You've got one card out of your deck, so now you thin your deck by one card. And it's really all just about thinning and being able to get to your combo pieces really fast. And Enemy Controller is just a boss-ass card. Like, their words cannot explain. It's just such an amazing card. But besides that, there are some cards that are a little bit iffy in the deck. Like, for example, I also talk about this in the deck profile, but Dark Dust Spirit. Here's the problem I have with Dark Dust Spirit. For those of you who are going to hate on me, you know, this is just my opinion. You can hate if you want. The problem that I have with Dark Dust Spirit is that you get to blow up all your opponent's monsters. You know, that's great. You get to punch in there for 22, more than likely. And then it bounces back to your hand. Unless you have that Battle Fader, Gores, or Trag, then Dark Dust Spirit is a really, really bad, if not subpar card at best. When you don't have that Fader, especially if you're low on life, it's very difficult to be able to say, well, should I drop Dark Dust, should I not? And I actually didn't have an End of Anubis at the beginning of the tourney. Why did I even say tourney? I never say tourney. At the beginning of the tournament yesterday. So I ended up side decking Dark Dust Spirit, but I never sided it in. There was never a point in time where I was like, damn, I really wish I had my Dark Dust Spirit, or man, Dark Dust Spirit would really get me out of the situation. It's an okay card. Like, it's neat. Like, there's really not one real play nowadays that is just like, oh my god, this is freaking sick, unless your opponent just went balls deep and just dropped 5 monsters on board, and you happen to have the Fader, and then you rip the Dark Dust, and you just blow up their field and swing for 22. And then, once again, if you don't have the Battle Fader or some kind of hand trap that you could drop like Tragger, Gores, or Fader, it's a very bad, if not subpar card at best. So I'm very iffy on Dark Dust Spirit if I'm going to be running it at the upcoming regional, just because I never really found that I needed it. Like, it's just, like I said, I mean, there wasn't one real time where I was just like, my god, I really wish I had whatchamacallit, Dark Dust Spirit. Another card I want to talk about, Effect Veiler. In the top 4 build of YCS Austin, the guy used 2 Veilers and 3 Max C. What I used at locals was triple Veiler and triple Max C. I did test both the top 16 and the top 4 builds of Frog Monarch, and my friend ended up convincing me to run triple Veiler and going back to the top 4 build and trying not to use Dark Dust Spirit since it is a subpar card at best. Like, Veiler, the third Veiler in I guess you could say most situations, is better than Max C, just because of the simple fact that number one, he's a tuner. So whenever you're running 3 instead of 2, that gives you an extra tuner that you can be able to sync with Treeborn in order to make Formula. It's an extra target in order to exceed with Treeborn in order to make Slacker Magician. And on top of that, it's a third. It gives you a higher percentage opportunity of either opening or drawing into Valor quickly, in order to stop your opponent's effects. Like, literally, I opened up 2 Valors in my opening hand, and my opponent was going first. He was using Dino Rabbit, and this was game... What was it? No, it was game 1. And he goes, Summon Rabbit, use the effect I Valor. He sets 2 back row and says go. I draw. I end up still not having anything that I can summon, so I say go. He draws. He tries to use the effect of Rabbit. I Valor him again, and it slowed him down so much. And I actually ended up winning that game because I was able to slow down his effects. So really, Valor can cause a hell ton of problems, especially when you're also running triple Max C as well. It's like just constant hand traps, Max C, Max C. And if you end up having the Max C and the Valor, then the cards are just in your favor. You can just go, okay, Max C. Go off with your wind-up combos. Okay, I want you to stop their Valor. Okay, like, you just shut them down. And you just got all those pluses from the Max Cs. Or from the Max C. And on top of that, it has... well, actually, going back to the main number one reason why... what was it, for that Frog Monarch is the best meta call and one of the best decks of the format right now, is because it has a good matchup against everything meta. Like, I kid you not, against Mermails, this deck takes a dump on Mermails. Like, Mermails don't do anything, and once Evil Swarms come out, the deck is going to be irrelevant anyway. And on top of that, it has a good matchup against Evil Swarms. Yes, I realize that Ophion has 2550, but you have Caius, and all their monsters are dark, so they're going to be taking 1,000 more than likely. You don't have to worry about their own Forbidden Lance, just because that only protects them from spells and traps, I think. Let me double check on that, since I'm here. Infestation... I can't spell. Infestation... Infestation Pandemic. I think I spelled that wrong. Okay. This turn, all face-up Evil Swarm and Steel Swarm monsters you currently control are unaffected by other spell and trap cards. Yeah, so this card means nothing when you're running Monarch, because let's say you have 2 Econs in your hand. You go, okay, standby phase Treeborn. Econ, tribute the Treeborn, take your Ophion. Chain Pandemic. Okay. Go Econ? Like, well, assuming that you have another monster on board, I'm sorry, because you would have had to, tribute the Treeborn as the cost. Now, assuming that they just go Pandemic right off the bat to the activation of Econ, okay, chain the other Econ tribute. But if they're a smart player, not a dumb player, then they'll just chain to the target after you've tributed. But if you have another monster in play, you can just chain the other Econ tribute and then take it. And on top of that, even if they say no Pandemic Infection on your Econ, okay, I still get back my Treeborn. Now I can sack off my Treeborn for my Monarch, for example, Caius. Banish your Ophion, you take 1,000, and I swing into your face with 24. You just took 3,400 in one turn, and you're sitting there salty. Like, there's just, like, no way to... Like, it's... like, how do I explain this? Like, Mermail, it has a good matchup. Evil Swarm, good matchup. Only thing that you really have to worry about is Dino Rabbit. And windups, yeah, they can outpace Frog Monarch, but like I said, running triple Valor and triple Max C, trust me, you have a very high percentage chance of opening up Max C and or Valor. Like, it will happen, and if not, you will draw into it very quickly. Trust me. And you may think it is inconsistent. It is player preference, I will admit, with the triple Max C and triple Valor and that. Personally, it does work for me. I think I will leave it at triple Valor and triple Max C. Just because, like I said, it works for me. And then another card, Jinzo. Jinzo is the freaking Terminator. I cannot stress this enough. Oh my god, Jinzo just puts in so much work, especially against Dino Rabbit. Like, he's your out to Dino Rabbit. Like, I almost want to use 2 of him and take out Oriza, but I don't know. I'm still kind of testing around with that. But the fact that he stops the activation of your traps as soon as he hits the board. He stops your um, he stops all effects. So even if they have a face-up Macrocosmos, okay, sack off my monster, go Jinzo. All my cards now go to the graveyard. Like it doesn't matter. Um, so I love Jinzo so much in the deck, and the ability for this deck to be able to run Jinzo, especially with the decks that use a heavy amount of traps like Fire Fist, and hell, it has a good matchup against Fire Fist. I mean, all you have to really do is just side out like one or two of your Maxies and or your Veilers, whichever one you prefer to side out. I would say the Maxies just because it really doesn't do anything against that deck. Bring in your MSTs if you feel like you need to, and anything else that you want to bring into. I would say Barrel from the Different Dimension, but honestly, I think Burial from the Different Dimension is a subpar card. I never side decked it at the tourney. I might leave it in my side just because it's an out to those remove from play cards like Macro and D-Fisher and all that. But besides that, I just think Burial's just a subpar card. It's a subpar card. Like, it's neat, but it's just running one. I mean, you got to be able to draw into it. Same thing with only one Soul Taker in the side. Like, it's so subpar at one. Like, the only thing it stops is Light Pulsar, and whenever you're going against heroes, they're shining. Like, it's just, I don't know. I wish that there was something I'd be able to run that would be better. So, I don't know. But, I think that is about it I wanted to talk about in this video. In short, the basic of it is what I'm trying to say is that this deck has a good matchup against everything. Some matchups will be harder than others, like Dino Rabbit. Like, the Dino Rabbit guy that I played where I opened up the two Veilers and Veilered his Rabbit twice. Like, Game 1, I saw Macrocosmos pretty early and I lost. Game 2, I never saw Macro and I won. Game 3, he played Macro once I drew into my card for my first draw phase and I just had to scoop because there wasn't anything I could do. The only out that you have is MST or Heavy Storm, really. Or if you're able to get it off Jinzo, or if you're able to get it off Caius or Ryza. But with Dino Rabbit, it's very difficult, especially if they already have the Macrocosmos on board with like their Logias and Dolkas, and they already have their back row set up. It's very hard to win. So I would say the hardest matchup would definitely be Dino Rabbit. But if you can't really build Mermail or anything, but you want to have a good matchup against everything, Dark World is a little bit hard, but I did beat the one Dark World that I played yesterday at Locals. Game 1, I barely beat him. Game 2, he OTK'd me. Game 3, I barely beat him again. It really depends on how they open. Same thing with Dino Rabbit. But I was able to pull it through and win just because I was able to conserve my resources and just play smartly and safely. But you know, if you can't build Mermail or something, but you want to be able to have a good matchup, especially against Evil Swarms and especially the mirror match too, Frog Monarch, you know, that's not too much to worry about. And you want to have a good matchup against Evil Swarm, Mermails, everything in the meta right now, go with Frog Monarch. It's the best meta call right now. Like, if you like going with meta calls, trust me, Frog Monarch is the best meta call, and you're going to see it. Don't think, oh, both the guys that topped at Austin and San Diego got lucky. No, this is a best meta call right now. And like, look at their deck list. Like, they have so many cards that stop the meta in themselves. It's almost a stun deck, really, because they use Vanity's Fiend, they use Jinzo, they use like all this stuff. They use Lad. Like, I mean, the list goes on and on. But thank you guys for enjoying this long video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. I might make this a true insider episode. I'm not sure yet. But if you guys enjoyed, a like or a favorite would be appreciated. Please always rate responsibly. That'd be terrific. And thank you guys for 124 subscribers. And I definitely will be trying to post more often.